Let's go. Let's go, chat. What's good? I think it's just me in here right now. Let's get it. We hype. Canelo got his dub, man. I lost my bet, bro. I bet on the stoppage. What was I thinking? What was your boy thinking? I'm a casual for that. Let's be so real, bro. Whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is. I can't control what Canelo does in that ring, but it was still exciting, an exciting fight for everybody in the sport of boxing. Two Mexicans went at each other, and it was a good event. But I still think Canelo Alvarez. I need a big fight from him. I still need that David Benavidez fight to go down. But hey, good performance overall. Didn't get the stoppage win that I was predicting, but he was in there with a young bull, a young lion that had no reason to go down. He wasn't trying to give up. He just, he said, let's go, let's fight. So I respect it. Respect to Munguia for staying in there. But ultimately, I think that, Canelo, he just imposed his will. He might be different breed right now. Canelo might just be different. But shout out to you guys for joining the live. This is day 4, I believe, in a row of streaming. Let's get it. Let's talk boxing. Let's get this chat popping. Let's get it started. Here we go, baby. Let's talk boxing. Impressed. Ask questions or post comments. Here we go. Here we go. Let's get this live on the road. We got this live started. Let's get it, baby. I'm excited. We got a lot to talk about today, guys. We could go back to Ryan Garcia if you guys want to talk some Ryan Garcia, but Canelo did his thing, man. If you guys were on the live yesterday, you guys know that I placed a little bet. I placed a little wager, came up short with that Canelo stoppage. He couldn't do it for me, but it is what it is, man. He still had a good performance. I didn't put anything crazy on there. But Canelo Alvarez obviously did his thing. I think that, we should start this off talking a little bit about Canelo. I think it'd be disrespectful, even though I don't really care. I've been saying that was a good fight from Canelo Alvarez, but ultimately that wasn't the fight we asked for. I'm going to sound like a hater, but it is what it is, man. I want to see David Benavidez in there with Canelo, but it is what it is. It's whatever. We'll see what happens. It was interesting to see Ryan Garcia in the dressing room for Canelo. That shocked me a little bit. Because, with the state that Ryan Garcia is in right now, I was a little bit, concerned that maybe everything that, Canelo's been through with Ryan Garcia, maybe he wouldn't want to have him in his locker room, but that wasn't the case. It's all love. Ryan Garcia even, asked Canelo Alvarez if he liked his fight, and Canelo said, yeah, he was really excited for him. So it's all love. It seems like even through this tricky time with Ryan Garcia testing positive for PEDs, Canelo's still supporting him and embracing him. And that's how it should be. That's how it should be. These guys have history. Canelo still supports Ryan Garcia. He's happy for Ryan. Even though he tested positive for PEDs, it was a little bit shocking for me, just because, traditionally when a guy takes PEDs, you think he looks jacked, but Ryan Garcia wasn't jacked. But we know that's not always how steroids look. Ryan Garcia was smoking weed, drinking. So there's some truth to everything. Shout out to Terrell. He's saying if he went quiet, he would look more suspicious. Oh, you're talking about Canelo? Yeah. I mean, that's a shout out to you, Terrell. I don't think I've gotten a comment from you before, but welcome to the live stream. And yeah, you start off the live with a good point. I feel like if Canelo kind of sweeps it under the rug, then he looks a little bit bad, because a few days before he was saying congratulations to Ryan and kind of giving him his credit. So I think he has no other choice but to stand by him. That's a good point. But still, like the welcoming into the dressing room, I was like, dang, like two guys that have, failed drug tests. Yeah, I mess with them. They're cool. I like Canelo and Ryan Garcia. I don't think they're bad people. But the truth is that they both failed drug tests before. That's just how it is. I've been saying, like, I just assume every boxer's on PEDs, bro. All these guys are such beasts, you can't imagine, but like think that all the supplements they take, maybe something is in it. I don't know what exactly all these guys are taking. I don't know to what extent it's legal in the sport. So some people, you got to imagine, I always say that if you get caught with PEDs, one could only imagine that, people are getting away with it at the same time. So Jake Paul was on live with Ryan Garcia asking for the B sample. And Ryan was kind of talking about how if they tainted the A sample and kind of, messed with it, how would you know they're not going to mess with the B sample as well? So, go with Ryan Garcia. Let me know in the comments if you guys think Ryan Garcia is innocent or not. I don't know what to think at this point, but let me know in the chat. Also, if you guys have any questions or any comments that you guys want to make about Ryan, about Canelo Alvarez's performance, were you guys impressed? Talk to me about, Devin Haney. Should he take that rematch with Ryan Garcia? There's a lot. Tank is back too, bro. I'm excited. Tank's my favorite fighter. For you guys who don't know, Tank's my favorite fighter to watch in the sport of boxing, and he's going to be back June 15th live on Prime. On pay-per-view to fight Frank Martin. So that's going to be exciting. I'm excited to see Gervonta Tank Davis back in the ring. Hopefully he makes those big fights happen as well. He's another one in addition to Canelo. As much as I am fans of both Canelo and Tank, they're the guys where I'm like, I want to see like the fights we've been asking for. For Canelo, I want to see Benavidez. I want to see Terrence Crawford. And then for Gervonta Tank Davis, I want to see him fight Shakur, the Ryan rematch. If you guys don't know, Tank's agreed to the Ryan rematch saying, okay, I'm down to make it happen. But are the pay-per-view, shout out Diego Marcelino. He is asking, are the pay-per-view numbers for Canelo versus Munguia out? I feel there was barely any hype for that fight. No, it only happened yesterday, so I doubt that they're going to release the numbers, at least like within this week. I'd be surprised. They didn't even release the legit numbers for Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, but that was DAZN. And this was PBC on Prime. So no, to answer your question, Diego, they did not come out with the pay-per-view numbers for Canelo versus Munguia. But I won't lie to you either. Like, even though that arena was filled, I don't really know anybody that was like really buzzing about it. Like boxing Twitter wasn't really buzzing about it the way they were buzzing about Ryan Garcia. I think that just goes to show that these young guns are kind of taking over. It's a different generation in the sport of boxing now. And Canelo, that's the pros and cons of it. Like, he did his thing, fought another Mexican fighter on Cinco de Mayo weekend, but at the end of the day, that wasn't the fighter that we asked for. So like, we asked for David Benavidez, and we'll see if he gives it to us next. But all signs show that Canelo's just going to do what he wants. He said he wants $200 million to fight David Benavidez, and if he doesn't get that, then he's not going to make the fight happen. And I'm like, damn, like $200 million. If you think he's that easy, and Canelo's been on record saying I could beat Munguia and David Benavidez in the same night, like, why not take it for less money? I mean, $200 million, you're asking for like close to Mayweather Pacquiao money, and it's just like, it's not at that magnitude. Let's be real. Even though it's a big fight, it's not at that magnitude. And I like Canelo. I'm a fan of Canelo, but I'm gonna ask you guys a poll. I want you guys to answer this one, okay? And be honest. I don't want any lying in this chat. We don't lie here. All right, I'm going to ask you guys, is Canelo ducking David? Ducking Benavidez? I'll just put Benavidez. I feel like people. All right, let's start the poll. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I don't know if he's ducking him. I definitely don't think he's in a rush to fight David. I just think right now it's a very like dangerous fight for him at this point in his career, because he has accomplished a lot, but at the same time, like, I think he knows that he's not really getting younger. He's probably a little bit past his prime. So at the end of the day, like, why get in there with a big line when you've kind of earned the right to call the shots and decide to fight less riskier fights, but for big paydays as well. But yeah, I would understand if he's not. Okay, we got no. Canelo is not ducking David Benavidez so far. So that's a good thing. I don't think he's ducking him either. I also don't think that he's in a rush to fight David. You know what I mean? I feel like, why would you be? He's a dangerous fighter. And David's fighting on that Tank undercard with Frank Martin. And I'm honestly shocked that got done, because I think that David Benavidez wants to be the main event, but I don't think he has an opponent right now that is pay-per-view worthy if it's not Canelo. I don't know, because I think they know that Caleb Plant fight didn't do as well as they anticipated, and so they kind of moved David back to co-main event on Tank's fight. So that just goes to show, like, as much as I like David Benavidez, he's another one of my favorite fighters to watch, but he needs a guy like Tank for people to give him some exposure. So As good as David is, I don't think he's a draw like people in the boxing world say he is. People don't really know David like that. I think more people know a guy like Devin Haney than they do David Benavidez, especially with the younger crowd now taking over the sport a little bit more in terms of eyeballs. But yeah. Oh, we got to switch up in the poll. We got a 50% now. 50% of you guys think that Canelo is ducking. So now it's a little bit interesting. It's good. Oh, we got more that he's ducking Benavidez. That's interesting. But I don't know. I think Canelo's tough. I don't know if he's ducking anybody, but he's definitely not in a rush to fight David. That's obvious. Shout out Diego. He's saying they're not going to strip Canelo of his title, so there's not much incentive to fight David. Yeah, there's a lot of politics in the sport of boxing. Like they're not going to take belts away from the cash cow of the sport of boxing. You guys got to remember that Canelo's paying these sanctioning fees. It's kind of a hassle to keep the belts, honestly, because every fight you have to pay a lot of money. You have to pay a fee to each sanctioning fee, and if you think about that, Canelo with all his belts has to pay all of those organizations. So yeah, like they're not gonna risk that and just keep passing the belts, even if that's the way it should be. Canelo is probably gonna hold those belts for a while. But I think David Benavidez, yeah, he's definitely a tough fight for Canelo. But I've also been saying throw Terrence Crawford in there if you want to make it interesting. But I don't know. Oh, Terrell said if Ryan, I'm going back to that comment because I think I read it wrong. Terrell said if Ryan went quiet, he would look more suspicious. Yeah, that's true. I think that's honestly smart. People are calling him stupid for using PEDs, and if he intentionally did, like the test is indicating he did, then he deserves to get punished. But at the end of the day, if some way he proves himself innocent, hey, like respect to him because this is not looking good. But yeah, like that is true. If Ryan Garcia was like all quiet all of a sudden, then it would be obvious that he did do it. And he has a way of fooling the people as well. So I'm not surprised that he's coming out here and saying stuff like, this is a setup. They're trying to take my win away. And I'm not saying that's out of the question. I'm just saying like a lot of it is conspiracy theories. And the only thing we know is that he did test positive. And, at the end of the day, a positive test is a positive test. Like I always say, this is the way you can compare it is like a pregnancy test. So you're either pregnant or you're not. You're either positive for steroids or you're not. And Ryan Garcia did test positive. So like I said before, his only alibi is if he can somehow prove that, he took the steroids unintentionally. If a trainer, a coach, even a nutritionist handed him, some kind of steroid and Ryan Garcia didn't know he took it. That's the only realistic way I think Ryan Garcia avoids a suspension and avoids paying a fee to the sport of boxing, whatever the commission is. He's going to have to present before the New York Athletic Commission, like I said before, and prove that he is innocent. Otherwise, Ryan Garcia will most likely get suspended from the sport of boxing for who knows how long. Typically, it's a minimum 6 months suspension. But let's be real, was Ryan going to fight in 6 months anyways? Maybe not. So this may not even affect Ryan Garcia. That's how it is. That's how the sport of boxing is, man. It's so messed up. Like I like Ryan Garcia, but even if he is found guilty and if he did intentionally cheat, like he's not going to face the consequences. That's the crazy part about it. Like we're all acting like because he cheated, everything's gonna, he's gonna face all the punishment and it's gonna ruin his life. It's really not gonna ruin his life. This kid's too popular for it to ruin his career. I promise you guys. I'm not here to defend cheating, but I also know the facts that Ryan Garcia makes too much money. So to the point where they're going to suspend him for more than a year. They're not going to suspend him more than a year. He's going to be back, whether he tested positive or not, whether or not he intentionally took steroids or not. I still think that Ryan Garcia is going to fight again. Like, do you guys think Ryan Garcia, even if he gets suspended, do you think his fans are going to go away? You got to think about it. It's like your favorite celebrity. A lot of people have Ryan Garcia as their favorite celebrity in the world right now. So they don't care if he cheated. Like, they don't care. That's the truth of the situation. If this is your favorite person in the world, they're not going to care if you took steroids or if you cheated in a boxing match because they see it past boxing. They're just so infatuated with Ryan Garcia's personality to the point where they don't really care about whether or not he cheats in a boxing match. And it is kind of messed up, but hey, I've been covering boxing for a while. That's just the way this runs. It's not a clean cut sport to the point where If a guy does something very wrong, he's going to get the punishment that he deserves. I don't think that that's going to happen to Ryan Garcia, if I'm being honest, because he just makes too much money for the sport. He makes promoters too much money. He makes networks too much money. So I think Ryan Garcia is, he's going to be back no matter what. He's just too popular. What do you guys think in the chat, though? Somebody comment down below. Are you guys rocking with Ryan Garcia, or did he cheat? Do you guys think that Ryan Garcia is a good example for the sport of boxing? Yes or no? I mean, like, cheating at the end of the day is cheating, so I can't defend that. But at the end of the day, Ryan Garcia is so popular to the point where, I don't know if he's going to get punished the way he's supposed to, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to ask you guys a poll. Wow, the David Benavidez poll ended in 50-50. So 50% of you guys do think that Canelo is ducking David. But, I'm going to ask you a question in the poll. Will Ryan Garcia fight again in 2024? I'm going to ask you guys that in the chat. Answer yes. He's too popular. No. He will be suspended. Hey, Jesse's in the chat. Let's go, baby. Let's go. All right, I'm shooting out a poll right now. Here we go. This is a good question. I'm curious to see your guys' answers to this. Like, yeah, I would agree. I just don't see how they, money's the end all be all in the sport of boxing. You guys got to remember, like, they would let it, they would let a real punishment go through with somebody that made no money. A guy like, I don't know, Frank Martin or something like that. They would probably get him in a lot of trouble. But a guy like Ryan Garcia, where he's such a draw to the sport of boxing, he's honestly carrying the sport of boxing on his back, even with his questionable actions, even though he's cheating. Like, I'm not going to say he's cheating outright, because I still want to wait till more of this story and more time unravels the story. So I'll wait. But ultimately, he did test positive. So even knowing that information, people still know that he's probably going to fight again. And not going to lie, he's going to make multi-million dollars doing it too. So it really, as much as, we want things to be fair in the sport of boxing, this is just the way he is. Like, this is Ryan Garcia, and people like him for it. Jesse saying allegedly tested positive. Yeah, I guess so. Like, we haven't, there's been some pictures of, the fact that he's tested positive for banned substances. So we'll see. I guess, you're right. You're taking that, everybody's innocent until proven guilty, but I don't know. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for Ryan. I like Ryan. I hope he figures a way out to clear his name, because obviously nobody wants that bad reputation or anything like that. But he's definitely a draw to the sport of boxing. Like, I'm not going to lie, even though I think Ryan Garcia should be punished if he did test positive and intentionally use PEDs in the sport, because that's dangerous at the end of the day. Like we talked about yesterday, you could take somebody's life in that process. So I don't mess with that. But at the same time, like, he just makes so much freaking money that it's going to be swept under the rug no matter what we say. It doesn't matter what I say. Like, I'm not in charge of what happens to Ryan Garcia, so I might as well talk about the future. And I think in the future, he's going to fight again. There's just too much money. That Tank rematch is so freaking lucrative. They're going to make so much cash from that Tank fight. Everybody involved in it, not only these fighters, the freaking promoters are going to make a lot of money. And I always say, like, you don't need a manager, but you need a freaking promoter, because a guy like Oscar De La Hoya, a guy like Al Heyman, they make big fights. They make everybody get rich. So it's crazy. It really is crazy. The sport of boxing right now, I will say it's probably as entertaining as it's ever been. And a big part of that is because of Ryan Garcia. Without Ryan, I really do think he's putting the sport of boxing on his back. Questionable decisions. I'm not saying that he, I'm not saying cheating is the way to keep the sport alive, but his antics, everything, the culmination of everything he's done in the lead up to the Devin Haney fight, he's definitely gotten the attention of people that don't typically care about the sport of boxing. So in that regard, Ryan Garcia is good for the sport, but at the same time, we don't want to, like, condone any cheating if it turns out positive. Big if it turns out positive. Diego is saying, I don't think there'll ever be a Tank rematch. See, I kind of, like, got to agree with you, Diego. I just don't get how I don't want to be negative here. I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but at the same time, I kind of agree with my guy, Diego, because, like, wait, like, we talked about it yesterday, and Tank even said, like, the max he'll go is not a catch weight, a fight at 140 and Ryan Garcia can rehydrate up to 150 or 152. I mean, that's 12 pounds for Ryan Garcia to work with, but at the same time, if they lose, he's gonna say the same thing. Like if Ryan loses, he's gonna say the same thing. So if Tank's not willing to take that rematch at a fight where he doesn't put a catch weight on it, then I don't think he's gonna do it. Like I don't think he's made it clear that he's not gonna fight Ryan if he rehydrates to whatever he wants. He's not gonna get in there with him, and I think part of that is smart. Why would Tank get in there with a guy that's like gonna end up weighing 165 fight night and then Tank's weighing like 140? Like that's insane. Like that's literally crazy. And Ryan Garcia he's not a small guy anymore. So not in terms of 5'10", he's always been 5'10", but at the same time, like he's getting heavier. You can tell. I don't know if it's the PEDs or whatever it is. It may be him, turning into a man slowly. But yeah, you're right, Diego. I don't know if there's going to be a rematch. As much as I'd like to see it, and the only thing that's keeping me a little bit positive about it is that the fact that there's so much money in it. There's too much money in that fight to the point where I still have hope, but I don't see it happening, at least anytime soon. I feel like they're both going to fight other guys. Even after the Frank Martin fight for Gervonta Davis, I still think after that he's going to fight someone else who's not Ryan before a rematch. I don't think it happens anytime soon. It can't. It really can't, because as much as I want to see Tank, do it, he's not even campaigning at 140 yet. So realistically, is he going to take that fight? Are his people behind him going to let him take that fight? I don't think so. And I get it. I respect it. Tank's little. I've freaking seen Tank in person. I'm freaking 5'8". Tank is like right here, but he could kill me. He could knock my ass out, but like he's little. So I get him not wanting to fight Ryan. And Ryan's a little bit, I'd say he's like a little taller than me. If we're not the same height, he's definitely a little bit taller than me. But Tank's smaller than Ryan for sure. And Ryan's a freaking big. Like this was my first time seeing Ryan Garcia in person, but he was freaking big. Like bro is a legit 5'10". Yeah, Ryan is 5'10". Ryan's 5'10", but like when I saw him in person, I'm 5'8", but he looked like we were like eye level. But I guess he is 5'10". Maybe I was just wearing higher shoes or whatever. I don't know. But he did look big. Ryan did, like, I don't mean tall. I mean he was freaking jacked. Like he was like he was looking strong. I can't even lie. Ryan Garcia is a beast. Like he looked big. I was like, damn, Devin Haney's gonna be in trouble, bro. That's why I was like, a lot of people in the media were talking about Ryan Garcia and Devin before the fight. When we were at the weigh-ins and the press conferences, we were like, damn, should we place money on this? And everyone was saying, yeah, I'm gonna bet on Devin. And I was like, I can't. Look at Ryan right here. He looks freaking big. And Devin's always in shape, but he wasn't as like Ryan Garcia was like a little bit more bulky. Like he was going in there healthy. So that's what I think. I think we talked about this yesterday, but just because you're ripped, like Devin Haney was ripped and Ryan Garcia wasn't, but we saw in that ring that Ryan was obviously more comfortable. He felt like healthier going into that ring. And I think that like being ripped doesn't mean you're in the best shape possible. I really do believe that, for boxing at least. Obviously, your optimal physical shape can look shredded, but at the same time, Ryan Garcia was freaking strong in there. Jesse's saying that I think Ryan versus Tank will happen in 2025. Yeah, I hope so. I think that's best case scenario. I don't think it happens. I'd bet money that it doesn't happen in 2024, because like that's not going to be Ryan might get suspended. Let's be real. I like Ryan, but he's probably going to get suspended from the sport of boxing, at least for a little bit, because testing positive. We're waiting on that B sample, but we've heard reports that, it already came back positive. So he's going to have to, deal with the New York Athletic Commission, get a fire lawyer, and maybe he can dig himself out of that. But otherwise, Ryan Garcia will probably get suspended from the sport for a little bit. But it is what it is. We can wait a little bit. Ryan Garcia doesn't really fight that often anyways. I mean, the turnaround from Duarte to Tank was pretty fast. What was that, from Duarte, not from Tank to Duarte, but from Duarte to Devin Haney was pretty fast. So, I mean, who knows? Shout out to the Passaro. A hydrated Ryan will do better versus Tank, but I still got Tank winning. His boxing and IQ are too much for him. Yeah, I think I still favor Tank against Ryan Garcia, even weight, take into account, like even if they fought where Ryan didn't have to deal with the rehydration clause, I still think that Tank might have a little bit too much skill for him. It's not only the power, and I think it's precision too. But Ryan Garcia still has that left hook. I can't count him out, but I'd still probably favor Tank a little bit more. I don't know. It's hard. it's hard to really compare them right now because I kind of want to see how Tank does with Frank Martin. I'm not gonna lie, because that'll show me a little bit. That'll show me a little bit. I don't know. Um, so we got some more chats. Jesse saying Duarte better than Haney was for. Oh, Duarte to Haney was 4.5 months. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not that much of a difference. If Ryan Garcia gets switched and suspended for 6 months, I don't think it makes that much of a difference. If what Jesse's saying is right, if it was about 5 months, what's a 6 month suspension? It's not that crazy for how long Ryan Garcia fights, take in between. So whatever, 6 months isn't that crazy. Shout out to NK True saying at Jesse Cueto, nothing alleged about it. Yeah, that it's tricky, guys. We don't work for VADA, so who freaking knows? Well, let's just assume that innocent until proven guilty, but at the same time, that test came out positive. We'll see what happens. They're gonna have to go to court or something. That's beyond our control. We'll see what happens. We'll see if justice prevails and Ryan Garcia is found innocent or not. Shout out Diego. What are your rankings for the 140-pound champs after the Ryan Garcia versus Haney fight? Do you put Haney last place? I don't put Haney last place only because now it's a little bit compromised with all the PED talk. Now, do we take away from it? Because if Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney gets overruled to a no contest, then are we supposed to say that Devin's back on top? I can't say that. I'm not going to say Devin's back on top because I saw him get hurt. So realistically, at 140, I'll go. How do you not put Ryan though? How do you not put Ryan? Like, I don't give a shit. Like, PEDs or not, how do you not put Ryan? What he did though, that was crazy. It's hard for me to not put Ryan number one at 140, but let's just say the best version of fighters at 140. Yeah, Ryan doesn't have a title, but at the end of the day, like, Tank doesn't have a title too. Like, but I think Tank could do a lot at 140. Honestly, I think he could stop a lot of guys at 140. So at 140, I think it's Tio. Tio's up there. Devin's still up there for me, even though this fight happened. He's still a top dog. Ryan's up there. I don't really put Josh Taylor up there anymore. Nah. Regis, not really. Jermaine Ortiz, not really. Sander Martin, not really. Honestly, there's not a lot of 140 pounders. Subriel Matias is up there as well, but can't put a discombobulated fighter like Haney near the top. I know, but like at the same time, if Ryan did test positive, then let's give them the benefit of the doubt and put Devin Haney back in that opposition in that position at a top dog. I know Ryan doesn't have a title, but he still did what he did, man. Shout out to the Passaro. Facts, him versus Frank will show a lot. If he does really well against Tank, I think it'll be hard to see anyone 135 to 140 giving him problems. Tio maybe. Yeah, Tio. I like Tio a lot. I think Tio on his best day is going to give a lot of people issues. I've interviewed Tio before the Sander Martin fight, and he didn't have a good performance, but at the same time, Tio came back against Josh Taylor and did his thing. That was a really good performance. You guys got to remember, Tio looked really small against Josh Taylor. I was worried for him, but at the same time, Tio's so confident and he knows what he's doing in there. He's good. So Tio's a top dog at 140 for me. Yeah, even though Tank's not there yet, Shakur's not there yet, I expect those guys to eventually be in that conversation as well at 140. But Subriel Matias is a scary guy. Can't forget Isak Cruz. He's also up there for me at 140. Rolly and Devin should freaking fight. If I'm Devin though, I'm not even fighting Rolly. Like, who do you guys have in that one? Who do you guys have winning, Rolly or Devin Haney? I think if Rolly catches Devin, like, shit. But Devin, who knows? Devin may have better pop than we think, because I saw that. And if you guys saw in that third round, Ryan kind of got rocked by Devin, and I was like, oh shit. Jesse saying, I didn't know a side effect of Austrian was a deadly left hook. Diego is saying Devin by points. Yeah, I'd hope so, but like I'm just thinking throughout 12 rounds, he's probably, I don't know if Devin can stop Rolly. I don't know if he'd be able to stop him. That's like one fight where he'd have to prove that he can bang with the puncher and put him to sleep. But I don't know if Devin has that. I'm not sure. So Rolly and Devin's a good fight, but I honestly think Devin should fight someone random like Sander Martin. Like, stay away from punchers right now. I don't know. Diego saying, I feel like Haney loses to Pitbull after seeing the Ryan fight. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of people kind of sleep on Pitbull, like just because Tank kind of, even though Tank went to a decision with him, I still think that it takes skill to beat a guy like Isak Cruz. It's not as easy as like you just have to step off to the side or something like that. Even Shakur Stevenson said it. It's not so easy to beat him. Rolly Romero got cracked in the freaking first round, was out on his legs. It's insane. The Pissarro is saying Devin beats Rolly, but Devin has so much to work on, especially when it comes to fighters with no power. No power plus no chin is crazy. Yeah, that's what I've been saying about Devin. I feel like I always say this in my videos, but Devin now, after that Ryan loss, he's in a difficult position because his chin is definitely compromised now. And at the same time, it's hard for Devin to make 140. So does he go to 147 without having the KO power at 140 to begin with? Like that's hard. So Devin has a lot of decisions to make as well. He's not in an easy position where it's just like, I'm going to get back and start fighting again. It's going to be a hard weight cut to 140 or go to 147 where you're not going to have any power because those guys hit hard. And I think at 147, he's kind of lucky because if Boots moves up to 54, it's very possible that Devin Haney can attain the title at 47, in my opinion. 47 is starting to empty out. There's not really many guys anymore. Like Virgil Ortiz moved up to 54. Crawford's fighting at 54. Spence is going to fight at 54. So, I think Devin should go to 47 and try to outbox guys there, but avoid, facing any big punchers at any weight division. Cause, if he gets touched in the right place, no Diddy, he's going to get stopped. I don't see Devin beating a lot of big punchers right now. Cause it's just, his chin, bro. It's questionable. It's a little bit suspect now. And now that Ryan Garcia did what he did to him, whether it's PEDs or not, Devin still took that damage. You can't undo that. So Devin's chin may very well be no longer existent. He may just any puncher that just lands a clean shot on him, he might go down. He might lose his legs, and he's got to work on the stability in his legs, in my opinion. I don't know if it's I'm not an expert, but in terms of the legs, he's got to work on some stability and balance there because, getting cracked with a shot, obviously, you're going to get your legs out, but his legs were wobbling, man. He has skinny legs. I think he's got to work on it. NK is saying the side effect is increased power and speed. The Pissarro is saying, oh yeah, I forgot about Pitbull. I think Pitbull gives Tank problems. I mean, in the first fight, Tank had a messed up hand and he still won a decision pretty obviously and pretty clearly, in my opinion. But yeah, if Pitbull continues to gain this momentum and beats Ryu, he's fighting on August 3rd. So if Pitbull looks good there, I think who knows what he could do against a guy like Tank Davis with the right level of confidence, cracks him in the right spot. Will we see Tank get dropped for the first time? I don't know. Tank has a good chin. Jesse saying NK True sounds like one of the elite. No Diddy. Jesse saying yes, Matt. Devin's chin is highly questionable now. Yeah. Jesse saying my little sister has more of a chin. She's a 7th grader. Oh man, you guys you're doing Devin dirty, Jesse. I like Devin though. He's a good dude. It's just against big punchers, I don't know if I could comfortably say that he beats a lot of the guys at the top at 140 because it's just like they're all punchers. Who's not a puncher at 140? Like Sandor Martin, he's not that popular though. I don't even know if you could freaking put that fight on pay-per-view. The Pissarro, do you think Ryan Garcia and his camp are serious about the Boots fight? I think they're serious about everybody. I think they were serious about Mario Barrios. See, Devin goes up, fights Mario Barrios. He might have a chance there. He might be able to outbox Mario Barrios, but Mario can kind of crack a little bit. So we'll see. But in terms of the Boots fight, to answer your question, the Pissarro, the Boots fight is a fight where it's like, I like Ryan, but maybe stay away from that one. You guys got to remember, Boots is freaking good, bro. He was at the weigh-in. We saw him, and he just looks like he wants anybody. Like, he's willing to fight anybody. If it's Devin to come up to 47, if it's Ryan to come up to 47, if it's to go to 54 to fight Bud or fight Spence, like, Boots is going to do it. So if I'm Ryan, I'm kind of staying away from Boots. I'm not going to lie. But if he really wants to test himself and he really believes it, Ryan has that left hook. So who knows? I've seen Boots get hit before, but he has pretty good defense. He's elite. He's one of the most talented fighters in the sport of boxing, in my opinion. Like, yeah, he might be my number one. Like, I know pound for pound is like people like to bring in their achievements and their resume, but I really do think Boots he's got to be like he's got to be top 5 pound for pound for me right now. Just because take resumes out of it, I just mean like if I was going to put my stock into a fighter right now, and I know he's going to be good, I'd put it in Boots. Boots is good. Let's see. Jesse saying Devin can't even promote his own fight. He needs to rely on his pops. True, true. Yeah, I think I talked about that yesterday, but I'll say it again. Like Devin, I feel like it's freaking hard to have a dad as your trainer. Like because I saw it, and Devin would be doing his open workout, and then Bill Haney would be like, oh, if he dies, he dies, and then he'd be saying stuff like, my son has the best jab in the world. So like if you're Devin and you're hearing that, he went into the ring and went in the center of the ring and fought Ryan Garcia's fight. It was a bad game plan. And I think part of that is because he's hearing different things from his own father / trainer. And he's like, okay, with everything that my dad's saying, am I supposed to box him or am I supposed to take his head off for talking about my religion? So that's where it's like Devin's in a tough spot. He may even need to, have another set of eyeballs in his corner for real. Like, I just don't know if his dad as a trainer is good. I don't know if he may need to switch it up. I don't know. I like Bill though. He's a good dude. I do think that fight should have been stopped, but hey, maybe if he had stopped it, maybe Devin would have like fired him or something. I don't know. Maybe they have some kind of agreement that, if I get in a tough fight and I think I'm getting beat up, just leave me alone. Don't stop the fight. Don't throw in the towel. So Diego saying, I want to see Edwin back in the ring. Are you talking about De Los Santos? Yeah, him and Tank is an interesting fight because Shakur had his fight against De Los Santos, and I think that Shakur didn't have his best performance, but I think people like over-hated on it, in my opinion. Shakur even said he was even like, I kind of like the way I look in that fight, and that's interesting because a lot of boxing media wasn't happy with his performance. They were saying, this is your blue chip prospect. This is the guy that's supposed to be the next Floyd Mayweather. But Shakur's a defensive mastermind. I don't think people expect him to get into an all out brawl the way they expect a guy like Tank to do to stop guys. Shakur's just not that kind of fighter. We're never going to get it. I think Shakur, if he really wants to be the next Floyd Mayweather, he's going to have to turn himself into a villain and continue to rack up wins by any means necessary. I mean, at this point, if you want to compare careers, Shakur isn't Floyd because at this time in Floyd's career, he was stopping guys. He was stopping guys like Chico Corrales. He was stopping guys like Arturo Gatti. But Shakur, he's not really stopping guys. I think the last person Shakur put a beat down on was Jamel Herring. And I feel like you guys got to remember, like, all of these fighters are none of them are going to be Floyd. Like, nobody's going to be Floyd. I never, whenever people are like, this is the next so-and-so, this is the next Manny Pacquiao, this is the next Floyd Mayweather, I'm like, yeah. Let's see him in the ring. Like, that's cool and all, but let's see him in the ring. Jesse Cueto says, how many years does Canelo have left? I don't know. He said he has 3, 4, maybe even 5 more years left. So, I mean, how can you go that long without fighting David, though? That's all I'm asking. I'm asking, like, how long can he put it off and say, like, okay, I'm going to continue to fight, but at the same time, I'm not fighting the guy you guys all want me to fight. I'm not fighting David. I'm going to do it on my terms. I mean, like, damn. Or fight Crawford, bro, if I'm Canelo. I think Canelo, like, he could fight 5 years if he's saying he wants to, but he's definitely slowing down. Like, I thought that he had a good performance, but like Munguia's not on his level. I thought he should have been able to get the upset shot. Jesse, I think you were definitely in the live yesterday. I lost my bet, bro. I'm salty about that. That's crazy. I only put like $10 on it though, but it was like a $80 return. So I put money on Canelo to get the stoppage last night. Canelo couldn't pull through for me, so I'm a little salty. So it's whatever. Let's see. Facts, Boots is top 5. I got Bud and not many fighters beating him as of now. Yeah, I don't think we'll ever see that Terrence Crawford and Boots Ennis fight though, because it's not worth it for Terrence Crawford. He's on top of the world right now. He's at 54. Boots is such a high risk fight with little reward, if we're being real. So I don't see that fight happening, but I'd love to see it if they made it happen. Diego saying if he does another 3-fight deal, I'd be surprised. He said, if you're talking about Canelo, yeah, if he does another 3-fight deal, I think he might even do more because He said he wants to fight like maybe 5 more years, and if 5 more years, you're gonna do way more than 3 fights, or at least I'd hope you do. Yeah, yeah. Jesse saying Matt put Canelo by stoppage. If you guys didn't know, I placed a bet on Canelo last night. I was feeling a little crazy. And looking back at it, I'm like, what was I thinking? Like this guy was a fellow Mexican. I think Canelo could have stopped him though. What did you guys think about that Canelo fight? I feel like he could have stepped on the gas a little bit and probably got Munguia out of there in the fourth round when he dropped him with that uppercut. But I think he was just like, this is a fellow Mexican. Why would I, let's just carry him to the end. Even Terrence Crawford said that. Like he thought that Canelo was going easy on him, and I think that a big reason for that would be because he's a fellow Mexican fighter. The Pissarro saying Canelo's attitude is kind of bad for boxing. I can do what I want. I hope other boxers don't start saying that. Yeah, but you can't only blame Canelo because I think Canelo learned it from Floyd, and Floyd got a tinge of it from Oscar and then kind of ran with it, and Floyd made his whole career off of basically doing whatever the hell he wanted. Canelo's at that point where he's making so much money to the point where it's like, why would I fight a top guy when I could fight, basically on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm fighting, seven or C level opponents, and I'm getting paid just as much as I would fighting a guy like David. Like, I understand where, Canelo's coming from because he saw it with Floyd. He saw it with all these guys where they're taking the more so business approach. But yeah, I would say that it's not the best for boxing because it kind of steals the best fights away from the fans. Like, I want to see Benavidez. Like give us the fight you want. And he's always saying like, why do I have to fight the next guy that all the fans are calling for? There's always going to be a new guy. But that's the price you pay for being the cash cow of boxing. If you want to be the face of boxing, you think that people are just going to let you fight one fight and say, okay, that's all we needed to see. Enjoy your millions of dollars, go retire. No, they're not going to say that. They're going to say, who's next? That's how boxing is. And I think Canelo has to have a better understanding of that. But I like Canelo. Shout out to him. Congratulations. Jesse saying, I said Ryan by decision 2 weeks ago and Canelo by decision last night. Hey, you need to go to DraftKings right now and place a bet. I don't know if you got to be like 18 or 21, right? To bet on sports. You might have to be 21 depending where you are. It might not even be legal. So I'm in Jersey, so it's legal. We in Jersey time. We East Coast. Where's everybody from? Type in the chat where you guys are from. I'm trying to know what time it is wherever you guys are watching. The Pissarro saying, I think he could have stopped him, but at the same time, I think it would have taken a lot to stop Munguia. And yeah, Floyd did start that mentality. Yeah, I think Canelo could have stopped him, but like it's what you're saying. Part of it for me was like he had mercy on him, but part of it was also like I'm kind of exhausted. Canelo doesn't have the best gas tank. I don't even think Canelo should really be fighting at 68 or 75. I think Canelo's a natural 60 pounder. He could probably even make 54 if he really tried. And I think that's where the stamina kind of becomes an issue. That's where it's a little bit different. That's where I will say weight classes are a little bit important because when you're at your optimal weight, your lower optimal weight, then your conditioning tends to be better. That's why you see these smaller weights be so, fast because the smaller guys have more stamina at the lower weights. So that's just how it is. Yeah, it would have been very hard to stop Munguia. Yeah. I mean, Munguia's tough. You guys got to remember, like he's had so many fights and the opportunity to fight Canelo. I'm sure he had a really strong training camp. He's young. He's a bigger guy, strong physique, basically 6 foot. He looks a lot bigger than Canelo. In the beginning, I was like, I don't know if I like this for Canelo, but Canelo kind of big broed him and kind of showed him, there are levels to this. I don't care if you're big, but you're still young. You're still young. You're a kid. So he did show that. So we got New York. Okay. I live in North Jersey, so I'm right across the bridge, right next to New York. Cali, that's sick. I got family out there. And MD, is that Maryland? I'm gonna assume that's Maryland. But okay, we got a solid range, a little variety in terms of location. So that's fire. I'm happy to hear that. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate it. Jesse saying Munguia said he let his hands go, but Canelo had too much experience. Yeah, I knew Canelo was gonna do what he did. Like that, the left hook is always his shot. He always measures it to the body or the head. And if you guys saw Munguia, like he never moves his feet. So when you don't move your feet in the sport of boxing, you kind of limit yourself. And you guys saw Munguia, he basically had to decide if he was going to cover his head or cover his body. Every time he'd cover his head, Canelo would go underneath. And then there was that one body shot that Canelo landed Munguia kept it all the way down. So he said, I might as well take a headshot as opposed to that. That's what becomes complex. If you're a mover, you don't have to only pick between here and here. If you're going to stand in front of Canelo, and Munguia did that, and at the end of the day, that's just his style. But you're limiting yourself to here and here as your entire defense against Canelo, who if you're putting your guard up here, he's going to attack your body. You put it too low here, he's going up top. Canelo's too good with that left hook. He just knows what he's doing. Jesse said West Coast, best coast. I don't know about that. The West Coast is fire, though. I'm probably going to go to Cali this year. I have grandparents out there, so that's cool. But, yeah, they're in SoCal, so maybe I'll be visiting out there. But, yeah, Munguia, shout out to him. He's doing his thing. He probably got a hell of a paycheck. He's going to enjoy that with his family. But he's just not one of those guys. You're not that guy, respectfully. Like, I like him. He's good. I'm a big Freddie Roach fan. We talked about this yesterday. But, your coach can't go in there fight for you. It's not like a video game where you can control everything. I'll spar you when you come to SoCal. How old are you, Jesse? How old are you? Diego said West Coast pizza is questionable. Facts. New York got that good pizza. That's a good point, Jesse. What's your response to that? The Pissarro facts, Jesse. The experience difference showed. I think it was great learning experience for Munguia. If he improves his footwork and stop leaning over, he will be a big problem. I'm a fan of him now. Okay. Oh, we're the same age then. I'm 22 also. Yeah. Munguia does do that a lot though, huh? He's almost like this. He's almost like he fights like this as opposed to, bouncing a little bit, staying on the outside. If you're a bigger guy, you got to make use of the advantages that you have. But I think that was like what you guys are saying. It's just it was a learning lesson. Maybe this is people were saying that this was, his Mayweather Canelo moment where it's good that Canelo fought Munguia when he was young because he's only going to get better. And obviously he's going to get better. But at the end of the day, Canelo's just on a different level. But I don't know. Ryan Garcia, what do we got? What do we think about Ryan? Are we thinking that we're gonna see him back? We're gonna see him back in 2024 or what? I feel like there's so many big fights for him out there. Like I don't think Oscar's gonna allow him to get suspended. I feel like Oscar's gonna come to his defense and save him. But it's not gonna be easy. Testing positive is no joke. Jesse saying, I've been to NYC once in my life. It was fun, but very different to be honest. Yeah, it's definitely different. You got to mentally prepare to head into the city. I'm kind of used to it now. So I found there's good in it. There's beauty in it. But yeah, every place is different. I've been to Cali. Cali's cool too. It's just freaking hot, bro. Like I'd only go to Cali if it's like Christmas time or something, if it's like January, the fall, the winter, but it's too hot for me out there. Even in Vegas, bro, I'd die out there. I'm not built for that. I ain't built. You guys are built different in Vegas, bro. That weather is crazy. I'm more so like, the all four seasons type of guy, but hey, to each their own. Cali's lit. All the fights are in Vegas, so I like going to Vegas. Vegas is cool. But there's a lot in the news of boxing today. What else we want to talk about, guys? We got Ryan Garcia. Diego saying, I feel like Canelo going to fight Big Charlo later, maybe the 175 champ. I don't know if he's going to go up to 75. I think he might have learned his lesson with Better Biev. Not Better Biev, Bivol. That fight got postponed, unfortunately. I was looking forward to that one. That was like the next big fight that I was like, this one's intriguing to me. There's also obviously Frank Martin. That's a big one as well. Canelo is going to fight Charlo. Yeah, that's the word around town. They're saying either Charlo or I also saw Berlanga post about September, and he seems kind of confident about it. So that's an interesting fight. But at the end of the day, I don't really I kind of know what's going to happen already. Like Berlanga is probably going to get slept. Even though I'd root for him in that fight, I don't think he beats Canelo. I don't think Berlanga has enough in the arsenal to keep him off. And we've seen him hurt a few times. I think Canelo would probably hurt him bad. But respect to Berlanga. If he gets that Canelo fight, that'd be sick. But I don't think he beats Canelo. Canelo's too good. Who you guys want to see Ryan Garcia fight next? Who should Ryan fight next? Let me know in the chat. I'm trying to talk some Ryan Garcia. Because that boy is freaking running the sport of boxing right now. Canelo always fights in May and September now. It's true. I think it's kind of cool that he has he basically has a schedule now. Like it's like Cinco de Mayo or it's May. He doesn't really fight summer. So we'll see. Fondora. Yeah, you said that, Jesse. He's tall though. Freaking the Towering Inferno. He's a big kid, bro. But that left hook is going to be trouble. He got dropped by Mendoza. I think Ryan could probably stop him at the right spot. But it's not an easy fight for either guy. I like that fight though. But I hope Ryan Garcia freaking figures this out, man. He's got to he's being kind of quiet all of a sudden right now. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with boxing social media. Boxing Twitter today has been a little bit slow from Ryan Garcia. He's getting a little quiet. I don't know. He might be coming up with an explanation right now, but he's going to need it. At the end of the day, we've been talking about it. Ryan Garcia needs an explanation. Otherwise, he's going to get suspended. And typically it's a 6-month suspension, but who knows? Some people don't like Ryan. So if those people are in charge of making the decision, they could easily sway things and make him, get suspended for a longer time than 6 months. But hopefully that's not the case, because I want to see Ryan Garcia back in the ring. I'm not going to lie. I can't sit here and be like, Ryan Garcia, I never want to see him in a boxing ring again, because that'd be me lying. I want to see Ryan fight again. He's good. Ryan's good for the sport of boxing, in my opinion. I just don't condone the cheating. The cheating is not it. I must say, in terms of, all the boxing stories I've ever heard, all the times I've covered these fights, and the amount of times that there was cheating, I've never seen people stick with somebody while they're cheating. And, people are sticking with Ryan Garcia. They're saying, I stand with Ryan Garcia, despite the cheating allegations, despite the positive PEDs. I mean, people must feel really confident with Ryan Garcia, being innocent in this situation. Jesse saying, I stand with Ryan Garcia. Yeah, that's fair. But you're from California. You're biased. Ryan's from California. SPL is saying a 2-year suspension. I don't know if that I see that not happening, because Ryan Garcia just makes too much money. I feel like boxing's not fair in that way. 2-year suspension would maybe be for me, if the guy's using PEDs intentionally, 2 years is kind of valid for me. I'm not gonna lie, but ultimately, Ryan Garcia makes too much money for them to give him a 2-year suspension. He's gonna make a lot of money. Jesse saying 2 years. What? You're tripping. Diego saying he'll probably get a few months suspension. Yeah, that's my kind of diagnosis as well. I don't think they can suspend Ryan Garcia for too long. This guy's the cash cow right now. They're going to make so much money from Ryan fighting in Vegas now. He's going to be the king of Vegas, and whether you like him or not, people are going to try to come see him to watch him lose. They're going to want to see him win. So he's got the best of both worlds right now. Ryan Garcia's got to be the hot topic of the sport of boxing right now. Who's a bigger topic right now? Even though Canelo fought yesterday, everyone's still talking about Ryan Garcia and a potential rematch with Tank, because even despite the PEDs, this has become a big story in the sport of boxing. I don't think people understand. Devin Haney was on national television right after it, so that was a little bit weird for me to see Devin speak out about it so quickly. Literally the next day after Ryan Garcia got accused, he was doing an interview on SportsCenter. I was like, what? But even Tank was saying that. Tank was like, why did Devin get on SportsCenter? It's like they kind of knew this was going to happen. So it is weird. And, Devin Haney's little brother posted on his Instagram story that one time that he was praying, and that, their God Allah said that, Ryan Garcia would test positive. And that's I'm all about religion, but at the same time, that was a little crazy. That was a little crazy that his little brother said that Ryan Garcia would test positive. And this was right after the fight. So it's crazy that Ryan Garcia, he's in a very difficult situation. He's not looking too good, but at the same time, his name is as trending as it's ever been right now. Everybody's talking about Ryan Garcia. Who here doesn't want to see Ryan Garcia fight again? I think we all want to see Ryan fight. Look at the poll. I put the poll out there saying, will Ryan Garcia fight again in 2024? 56% said he's too popular. So most of you guys agree that, he's too popular to the point where this money, if it makes money, it makes sense in the sport of boxing. That's the way it is. Even though rules are rules, they overlook them for superstars. That's just how it is. Even look at rehydration clauses. Who was the one to really start that? It was freaking Floyd Mayweather, because he's a cash cow. And who has the highest pay-per-views in the sport of boxing? Top 5. There's only one name that's consistent throughout those 5 names. It's Floyd. So Diego saying, I feel like Devin has taken some shit in the past, but if he can get a no contest decision, he'll go with it. Of course. He'd be foolish not to, I think. SPL is saying he popped dirty for 2 different steroids. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like one is a problem, but two is like, oh God, like how's he gonna dig himself out of this hole? But Ryan Garcia, he has a way of putting on an act and people believe it. So I wouldn't be surprised if he sneaks his way out of this one as well. Like who knows? He's just Jesse saying Ryan was framed. No, did he? Yeah, people are saying that too. People are serious about that in the boxing world too. They think that Ryan Garcia was framed, that the positive test for PEDs was made up, like it didn't actually happen, and someone was messing with the test. And I don't know to what extent that is true or not, but we'll see. Like Jesse's saying, the truth will come out. Indeed, the truth will come out. I hope I'm a Ryan Garcia fan too. I'm a Devin Haney fan as well. So I want to see both these guys continue their journeys in the sport of boxing. But Ryan's in a difficult spot, so he really needs to figure it out and be smart about his approach going into his next decisions, because he has to get a good lawyer. I'm just saying. Jesse saying, "Bruh, Haney is whack." Why is Haney whack? I mean, he doesn't have the most interesting style, I'll say that. But talking to him a few times, getting to ask him some interview questions, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. I have nothing against Devin. I just think that like his chin's fucked up now. It's gonna be hard to beat any big puncher, in my opinion. He has to be very intelligent about the next opponent he faces, because psychologically, how is he gonna deal with the loss? Like, no matter PEDs or not, taking a beating like that, you start to question, like, do I still want to do this? Like, I'm a kid. I'm 25 years old. Do I still want to get hit in the head and stuff like that? So, Devin does have a lot of decisions to make for the sport of boxing in terms of his future career, what he wants to do next. But he has to be smart about his next opponent. I wouldn't face anybody with a lot of pop. I wouldn't face anybody with a lot of punching power if I'm Devin Haney, because stylistically, as good of a boxer as he is, I'm not trying to exchange with a puncher at any moment. And sometimes you face a fighter. Floyd Mayweather says it all the time. Sometimes, certain opponents, you just got to fight. They're just going to make you fight. And Ryan Garcia was one of those guys, PEDs or not. I think if they run it back, I still have to favor Ryan. I think that in this matchup in particular, Ryan's just a little bit too strong for Devin. Ryan might crack a little bit too hard for Devin. I don't know if it's the steroids or not, but I think Ryan Garcia has always had power. I think anybody that gets caught clean with a left hook by any puncher in general is probably going to get dropped or go to sleep. The most common knockout punch in the sport of boxing is a hook. So, yeah, that's just how the hook is. Sean Porter talked about it. Floyd Mayweather talked about it. And it is true. The hook is the only punch that, it causes a blind spot. So let's say I'm fighting you, you throw a left hook. It starts here, goes out of my vision, comes back, but by the time it's hitting me, it's already hit me at that point. So, the left hook is the most dangerous weapon if I'm being honest. And Ryan Garcia has almost perfected that left hook. So Devin should just fight. Oh wait, Jesse saying his one thing was the undefeated record. It's over for him now. That's true. There was a lot banking on the fact that Devin was undefeated, but now he can't really say that. He can if this gets ruled a no contest, but people are still going to think in the back of their minds like, yeah, you still got stopped. Not stopped, but you took a lot of punishment. Diego saying Devin should just fight tune-ups his next 2 fights. Yeah, I wouldn't be in any rush to get a top guy anymore. Like, honestly, the thing is that, he wants a lot of money. If you guys have watched any of the videos, you see Devin, you see all his cars, you see the mansion he has in Vegas, and you can't help but think that he's going to try to get a big fight to make a lot of money. It's just those big fights obviously come with a lot of risk as well, and I just don't think Devin can afford it. At least coming off a beating, nah. Stay away from those top guys, because it's just not worth it. If you're Devin Haney, you're young, you're 25, you got time. Just you got to recover. I don't think Devin Haney should fight for 2024 anymore. Like, I wouldn't be. I mean, November, if it's like November, December, then yeah. But I don't know. Even like August, September, nah. Like, I don't want to see Devin back in there yet, if I'm being honest. And I like Devin. I'm a fan of his, but it takes time to come back from a beating like that. Guys, what's the biggest upset in the sport of boxing? Was Ryan Garcia that? It was Ryan Garcia and Haney. I know the PEDs things is whatever, but put that aside for a second. Is Ryan Garcia the biggest upset you guys have ever seen? I think that's the biggest one I've ever seen live. I mean, there are some other ones out there. Jesse saying no top guy will take Haney right now, though. He needs those tune-ups, like Diego said. Yeah, he does. He needs tune-ups, like for sure. You can't just like take a beating from a guy like Ryan Garcia, get dropped 3 times for the first time in your career. Get dropped not once, not twice, but 3 times. I would argue he really went down 5 times. So yeah, it's tough. Yeah, I was gonna say that Tyson and Buster Douglas, but I don't know. Ryan Garcia was freaking. I think I'm biased because I went there, so I'm kind of trying to make it seem like it was crazier. Maybe that's what I'm doing, but it's just crazy when you see like all the people I looked up to and was like, I want to see what they're gonna say about the fight. Are they gonna pick Ryan? And like nobody was giving Ryan Garcia a shot. So I don't know. I don't know. What about Manny Pacquiao and Marquez? That was crazy. The fourth fight. That was insane. I'm also a Pacquiao fan, so that freaking if we want to say upset, that upset me. Yeah, but Buster Douglas, that's a good one too. AJ Ruiz, yeah, that fight was crazy. That was in New York too. Everybody was at that fight. I remember seeing Mikey Garcia's reaction to that fight. He was there. But yeah, AJ was a big one, but AJ's like freaking what he did to Francis Ngannou, that was nuts. But yeah, there have been a lot of good stoppages in the sport of boxing, but I mean upsets. Marquez was juiced. Yeah, that's what they say, huh? He drank his own pee. There must have been steroids in there. Yeah, he did you guys remember that Marquez would drink his own urine and they would show it like they would literally show videos of it like as promotion for the fight. Like that was crazy. Diego saying Pac versus Ugas. I personally wasn't surprised at all that Manny lost that fight. I was like, this dude's old. Like, I don't like the fact that he was preparing for Spence, and then all of a sudden, a few weeks before the fight, they switch it to Ugas. It is a different style still, no matter what. Even though Spence was a harder fight, I still think you got to prepare for your opponent because Freddie Roach is the type of fighter that Freddie Roach always says when he doesn't look for mistakes in the opponents, he looks for habits. He didn't get time to do that for Ugas, and not to say that make any excuses for Manny, but Manny was old already. I think Manny even like 4. I think Manny right after Thurman probably beats Ugas bad. Pac versus Ugas. So does Lyoto, Machida, and UFC. Machida does the same type of karate that I do. Yeah, I always see that viral clip of John Jones talking about fighting him and how it was the hardest fight. I always see that little clip and how he made the adjustment and then eventually choked him out. But yeah, I'm a UFC fan too. UFC's cool. But what else is going on? Yeah, I miss watching Manny Pacquiao, bro. As a Filipino, bro, those were the craziest freaking fights ever. Those were crazy fights. I feel like Ugas' style would have been decent against Bud, but can't anymore with his injuries. Yeah, Ugas just got that orbital bone to the point where it's like every time somebody even tags him, like it just starts swelling. So I think Ugas should honestly hang it up soon, in my opinion. He's taking a lot of punishment. Like honestly, I think he's made enough money to the point where it's like you could probably live pretty comfortably and not box again. Because I think it's like it's about health at this point. You don't want to lose that eye. There's been how many instances have there been with your Dennis Ugas already getting beaten up in terms of that orbital bone. So I don't know. I don't really care to see Ugas back in the ring. I don't have too many fights for him to that'll make it exciting. Maybe Boots and Ugas, maybe give Boots a somewhat credible name in the sport of boxing, so that they could mention him against some other guys that used to be at welterweight now fighting at 54. Maybe. What about Spence? Who do you guys want to see Spence fight next? Fondora, Spence and Ryan Garcia. Did we talk about that yesterday? Fondora is a freaking tough fight for Spence. I was surprised he wanted to fight him. I think that's a tough fight for Spence. I don't like it actually. I think you could get beat. Yeah, Jesse, you did say Spence Garcia yesterday. I like that one though. I don't know who I'd root for. I don't know if you guys know. When Crawford and Spence fought, I was on that Spence train. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I had freaking Errol Spence winning that fight. Terrence Crawford shut my ass up though. Shout out to Bud. Spence beats Fondora in my opinion. I'd hope so. I think so too. I just the size just like trips me out a little bit, but I'd like to see it. I'd like to see Spence and Crawford. I mean Spence and Fondora. Fondor is just so freaking big, bro. Matt likes every boxer, won't say anything negative. Hey, I'm around these guys sometimes, all right? Let me give me some slack. I can't take away too much. Well, I really don't like dislike any who's a dislikable fighter right now. I don't think there's anybody really Canelo, like I like Canelo, but he frustrates me. Like I want to see the Benavidez fight. I think that he genuinely like may not want to fight Benavidez. He may not want to fight Terrence Crawford because those are two big fights that I don't dislike Canelo, but I'm being a little bit of a hater right now because I feel like he's not. Canelo's not even my top Mexican fighter of all time. I'll say that, but I think I have Marquez. I think Marquez is probably one of the best counterpunchers I've ever witnessed in the sport of boxing, and I think he faced a lot of difficult opposition. He was something else. The Nacho Beristain being his trainer, this was a different era of boxing. That was like my favorite time in the sport. I'll be real. I do like every boxer to an extent. I think every boxer has got something. And do we fight tomorrow, bro? I might freaking be asleep. Like I want to set my alarm, but part of me is like he's probably gonna stop Neri, right? I don't even know what time. I think East Coast, that's in the morning, bro. Who is the most boring boxer today? I'm gonna say in terms of top names though, I think Shakur is pretty. He doesn't have like an exciting style to the casual fans. I will say that he's probably boring to the casual fans. I could see that. That's fine. He's not a fan friendly fighter. At least he hasn't proven it. But he's definitely good. Yeah, I'd say Shakur is probably the most boring boxer. But I'm only naming like top guys though. I'm not gonna like say because I probably can't even name one of the prospects that are boring because I probably don't watch them. But Shakur's probably boring. Shakur's only boring because I feel like he doesn't take enough risk. But at the same time, if he takes risk, he's probably susceptible to big shots, and maybe he'd lose the fight if he fights the way that people want him to fight. So Devin's a boring fighter. I thought Devin was exciting against like Lomachenko. But yeah, he's not another one of those fighters. He sticks and moves. Those boxer, but the thing is, those guys are pure boxers. So I don't want to say they're boring because at the end of the day, it is boxing. But like everybody wants to see a knockout, right? So you can't really say that you could say he's boring, but at the same time, he's doing the sport. He's boxing. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I will say, who's my least favorite? I don't know if I have a least favorite boxer, bro. Back in the day, I didn't like Floyd though because I was a Manny Pacquiao fan. I was like, I want this guy to lose. I was a big hater. I was like, why is he running like a chicken? But that was when like I was allowing my emotions to get involved with my picks. I always knew that it was gonna be a tough matchup for Manny to beat Floyd. Is Adrian Broner ever going to fight again? He's fighting Blair Cobbs, I think, the first week of June. So that's a fight for AB. Yeah, he's fighting. If you guys watch that tank press conference, Adrian Broner's around him. Apparently, they're kind of training together. So that's cool to see AB and Tank because Tank was talking about how everybody turned their back on my guy AB, and I got him with me in training camp. So that's cool to see. I like Adrian Broner. He was supposed to be that guy. Let's remember. AB was saying, "I'm the can man. Mexicans, Africans, American." Like that's what AB was saying. I like AB. He's entertaining. He's a good guy. No matter what you guys remember. You guys remember that Paulie Malignaggi post fight interview. Still, I know AB's he's a good dude. I've only heard good things. I never met him, but I know that he's a good dude. Everyone always has good things to say about him too. AB fought Maidana too soon. Yeah, but it's just one of those like we gotta test that chin. We gotta test that chin. AB don't throw no punches. I would argue that yeah, I kind of say the same thing, but you guys remember that Pacquiao fight when Broner fought Pacquiao? I thought that was a closer fight than people thought. Like everyone was saying Broner was an idiot for getting on the mic saying that he won. I'm not saying he won. I don't think he won, but that was a closer fight than I remember. I watched it not too long ago. Yeah, that's what makes it a little bit sad because it's like Jesse saying Broner was supposed to be that guy. Yeah, I say that because like I just remember before Tank, before Devin Haney, it was Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner was supposed to be that guy. What's that guy's name? Jay Leon. Is it Jay Leon Love? You guys know what I'm talking about? He was another Mayweather prospect, but he lost early in his career as well. But yeah, it was AB. It was Adrian Broner before Devin Haney, before Tank Davis, before Carmel Moulton. Is it Jay Leon Love or am I tripping? Yeah, it was Jay Leon Love. He was signed to Mayweather Promotions. He was also supposed to be one of those top dogs at for Floyd Mayweather. He was kind of putting him on stuff like that. Floyd was even attending his fight. So Diego saying AB never ducked anyone though. It's true. He took all the big fights. Fought Sean Porter. Who else is he fought? Fought Maidana. Fought Pacquiao. Malinaji. He's been Jesse Vargas. Another good fight. Why did I almost say Amir Khan? Did they fight? Did Broner and Amir Khan fight, or am I tripping? I don't think did they fight? Who am I thinking of then? Oh, I know Amir Khan and Maidana fought, right? I think Maidana won that. Why was I thinking that, bro? I'm tripping. I'm a freaking casual. You know those fights like you think they happen for a second, but that shit never happened. like one of those fighters like Tim Bradley. I could see Tim Bradley in the ring with like anybody, and I'll be like, he fought that guy. Nope. Khan beat Maidana. I remember the body shot. He hit him in the body. That's all I remember. I kind of have bad memory with these fights. I haven't rewatched a Maidana fight. I haven't rewatched an Amir Khan fight in so long. The last Amir Khan fight I probably watched was Terrence Crawford when he hit him, but they said it was below the belt. But if you guys remember that, the only guys that ever really gave Terrence Crawford were the guys that can move. Like Gamboa gave Crawford problems, and then Amir Khan gave him problems. Like the fast guys, those are the guys that can not beat, but like give Terrence Crawford a hard time. Those fast movers. But if you're not a fast mover, Terrence Crawford probably can fuck you up. Who can beat Terrence Crawford? Is there anybody? Is Boots the only person? Oh, did I say that? Who can beat Terrence Crawford right now? Tank. Tank doesn't like Bud, so that's the reason why I said that. But who can beat Bud right now? Is he unbeatable? Maybe Canelo. Maybe Canelo can get his hands on Bud and make a big fight happen. I feel like I don't know. Porter was his best competition before the knockdowns. Yeah, Sean Porter's my guy, so I will agree with that. That one did hurt. I'm glad I met Sean after he fought Crawford. I met Sean like literally right after he met Crawford, and that's when we kind of started like talking back and forth. But if I knew Sean Porter the way I knew him now and he was fighting, I could not watch that shit. Like it's different when you know the person. It's like, nah, I don't want to see that. I don't even watch the Crawford and Porter fight. I watched the Spence Porter fight, but I don't watch the Crawford Porter fight. That shit too. I don't know. I don't watch it. Israel's pretty good, yeah. I think yeah. Madrimov is gonna be. I don't know. I think that might be a good fight. Boots beats Spence, says SPL. Yeah, I would agree. I just don't think we're gonna see it. So it's like, why? Because Spence, I think we have a better chance of seeing Spence Boots than Bud, honestly. Because like Spence lost to Bud, so maybe if he beats Boots, he can get his name back in that conversation. But I don't. Spence wasn't even that eager to fight Crawford again. I think Spence even knows himself that he needs a get back fight before he even thinks about Terrence Crawford. He wasn't eager to get that rematch. He talked about running it back, but you didn't see that sense of urgency from him trying to get that rematch. And I like Errol Spence. I pulled for him in that fight, but unfortunately, Bud's just too freaking good. That's just the way it goes sometimes. Yeah, I was wrong on that one. That's one of the bigger fights that I got wrong was Spence Crawford. That might be the biggest fight I've ever fumbled, because that was not a competitive fight at all. I saw the first round where I would argue Spence won that round, but you could argue that he didn't. But that first round really showed me like, oh, this is going to be competitive. But that second round, I was like, okay, Bud's going to win. It's just a matter of time now. What's the chat saying? What are we talking about? Diego saying Spence is not too good against other southpaws. Yeah, I didn't know that because who was the last southpaw that he had fought before that? Even Bob Arum was talking about Spence having trouble with the southpaw. I just thought like he's so determined to implement his game plan. Spence, he's so like come forward and he does work to the body, but I just thought that he would be so persistent to the point that he would break Bud. But it honestly, that's what costed him the fight, making no adjustments and being so persistent in his game plan. So Bud's good. Yeah. Bud is the southpaw. Exactly. So if you're not good to, I said this, after the fight happened, but yeah, he did kind of show he doesn't really know how to fight a southpaw. Because you got to imagine, most of the fighters are obviously orthodox. So you get used to that. Even as Spence being a southpaw himself, not being able to really adapt. And when it's a guy like Terrence Crawford, if you're not good at it with the southpaw in general, and then the first southpaw you fight in a while is Bud, I know he probably tried to prepare for that, but you can't emulate Terrence Crawford in the ring. It's just hard, even no matter who Spence got as sparring partners, you can't. Bud is just different breed. Who do you guys have? All right, I got a question for you guys. Pacquiao and Bud in their primes. Who do you guys got? I got Pac. I think he would have hurt him. I think in their primes, let's say this fight happens at like 40 or 47. It doesn't really matter. I think Pac's too fast. The thing is, like, that Spence fight showed me that, I was like, how come Spence couldn't do it, but other smaller fighters gave him a hard time. And I was like, it's the feet. Guys like Amir Khan and the hand speed, guys like Amir Khan, guys like Gamboa, these guys were fast. Gamboa, people don't understand now how good Gamboa was because, obviously we see him get knocked out and stuff like that. And he should retire. I don't know if he's officially retired or not, but back then, goddamn, like he was really good. And then for Bud to beat him, that was big. But at the same time, everyone's saying Pac. Yeah, I'm biased. I wanted to see what you guys said, but I was like, I don't think Bud could beat Pac. But I will say, who do you guys put better pound for pound right now, all time? Who do you guys got, Canelo or Terrence Crawford? Those are the guys that it's like, I think for me, in terms of, I'm only going to talk about guys that I've seen fight, like during my era. Like, so I got like Floyd and Manny, they're there. And then I think it's like Bud's under them, but not too far. But I think Canelo's under Bud, I will say. I think, how good Terrence is. I think that he just performance-wise, I think that he's above Canelo, in my opinion. That Spence win alone, just clearing out your weight class with that single performance and making it so one-sided was crazy. Damn, we got a lot of Pac fans in here. But I got another question. You guys didn't even answer my first one, bro. Y'all fake. I'm kidding. But I was gonna say, Pacquiao. Who do you guys respect more? Pacquiao for going 8 divisions, 8 weight classes, or Floyd for being 50-0? What do you guys think is more impressive? What's more legendary? I think like you can't deny 50-0. You can't deny, but also like 8 weight divisions. No one's ever gonna touch that. Like I don't think anyone's ever gonna touch that. Maybe people talk about Inouye. I think Inouye's too small, but no, you could say Floyd. I feel like I can accept that because everyone I always defend Manny and everyone always talks about Floyd. So I'm not tripping. You could pick Floyd. They both got good resumes. Maybe Bud is more skilled, but going up in weight to fight Canelo is a mistake. Yeah, that's the thing. That's my only concern is the weight. But ultimately, I feel like Terrence might be a little bit fast. Like he might be a little bit too fast in that ring. I think he might be able. Shakur said he might be able to hurt Canelo. I don't know if that's the case, but maybe he could score a flash knockdown or something and catch him off guard. I'm still laughing at Jesse's comment. He's saying Matt wants us to say Pacquiao so bad. Bro, I'm a big Manny Pacquiao's the one that freaking like inspired me to even like watch boxing like that is Manny. Like his freaking run from 35 all the way to 47, even 54 against Margarito. Like I had net like that was insane. Like I'm when you're just grateful that you were able to like witness that kind of run. That Manny Pacquiao run was crazy, and being able to watch his fights from 26 to 35 on YouTube because I was like a baby basically. So those were a crazy fight. Manny's my goat, bro. Straight up, 8 divisions is freaking hard. Because I feel like, and I also gotta give my respect to Floyd because I don't want to be too biased. I'm obviously biased, but Floyd's beaten more world champions than anybody ever. And this might be a hot take, but in my opinion, styles make fights. So just because Floyd beats Manny in a fight in that 2015 fight, how can you consider that? Because styles make fights. So it's one style versus one other style. Do you guys know what I'm saying? So like again, you're facing all these other opponents and they both have great resumes. That's why I think it's still a conversation. No matter what, people still like talk about Manny when Floyd's name is mentioned. And Floyd doesn't like that. Floyd gets freaking pissed. And I understand because it's frustrating for Floyd because you whooped Manny, but at the same time, like people still bring him up. Like they're like, why didn't you fight him in his prime or something like that? It's like Floyd wanted to make a lot of money, but I don't know. I could be. I'm biased. I know I'm biased, but at least I'm freaking aware. Straight up. I like Floyd too, though. Floyd really got that. Every time I'm in the mirror, I'm going like this. I'm always doing that in the mirror because Floyd just has that. He has that swag. He's got that clean defense that I like to watch. So Floyd's up there for me too. Floyd has taken less punishment. Oh yeah, there's no freaking doubt about that. Floyd has definitely taken less punishment than Manny Pacquiao. Floyd's never been dropped. Zab Judah though, that was a knockdown. If you guys remember that, he got dropped by Zab Judah. They didn't call it though. They didn't call it a knockdown. That was a clear ass knockdown. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't take away from the fact that Floyd's never really been like hurt. He's been hurt, but he's never gotten dropped and hurt at the same time. The only time he ever got knocked down legitimately was against Zab Judah. They didn't even count it, but he also wasn't hurt. So Floyd's built different, bro. Floyd's talented. He's good. He's solid. All right, we got any more last comments before I hop off the live? What are we talking about, guys? Let me throw one last poll out there before I hop off. I'm gonna say, let me end this poll. So most of you guys think Ryan Garcia is gonna fight again, and I agree. I freaking agree. Did Floyd Mayweather ruin boxing? Yes. Yes. No. And the reason I want to ask that is because, like, obviously that mentality of, my O has to stay. So at that point, like, a lot of fighters don't want to fight the best fighters in the world. So I'm not going to say he ruined boxing. I think he paved the way for a lot of people, but I think a lot of people have to understand the fact that, like, they're not going to be Floyd. I do not hate Floyd. I did hate Floyd before, but I don't hate him anymore. But doesn't everybody say that, Jesse? Don't they say, like, did Floyd ruin boxing because no one wants to fight everyone just wants to stay undefeated. And staying undefeated is, like, obviously indicative of, how good you are as a boxer, but still, like, people say that. So I was curious what you guys thought. Watch Vada get exposed this week. That'd be freaking crazy, bro. If Vada just gets exposed for, like, lying, bro. And then, dude, they're like the biggest anti-doping agency in the sport of boxing, in sports period. Like, they don't only do, they do like other sports too, like Olympic sports. So that'd be crazy. People want to keep their own regardless of Floyd's run. True. This is true. But I feel like Floyd kind of set that blueprint, like, show me the money and then I'll fight. But it's gotta be right. And if they can't give me enough money, I'm definitely, like, there's no shot. And I think that's another part of it where it's like, people have to remember they're not Floyd Mayweather. Like, there's only one Floyd, and that's just how it is. Jesse saying it's gonna happen. Watch. Damn, you really fighting for Ryan Garcia. You're putting Ryan Garcia on your back right now. I respect it though. Not many people are out here, defending Ryan, saying that there's even a potential possibility that he's innocent. So respect to you, Jesse. You're keeping Ryan Garcia alive when everybody's starting to hate on him and turn their backs on him. So that's cool. But I hope he freaking figures it out, bro. Because I'm not trying to see Ryan Garcia never fight again. Because he's good. Ryan Garcia is good. So 100% of people are saying that Floyd did not ruin boxing. See, I respect it. Floyd's good. Floyd's a GOAT. Why are we even trusting Victor Conti anyways? Bro, I'm surprised everybody knows who Victor Conti is, because a lot of people know who he is because people have done their research, but Victor Conti is like, he's infamous for having a bad resume. Like that, it's crazy. But I don't know. Homie shouldn't been let into boxing with his history. Yeah, he had the whole scandal with Barry Bonds. Just in the sport of baseball, period, he had a lot of issues with helping guys cheat. People even talk about him, extorting other, baseball players. So who knows? But the thing is that he doesn't own VADA. They're just saying that, Victor Conti is in close relationship with VADA. So that's where it's like, maybe there's something going on there. When you smell smoke, maybe there's fire. But ultimately, it's the test, and it's hard because VADA it's the anti-doping agency. This is what they use for all these major and high-profile fights. So it's going to be tough for Victor Conti to be proven to have kind of messed with the results. That's possible, but I can't say that it definitely is the case, because Ryan Garcia still, they test guys and he tested positive. Osterine, was the other one aniline or something like that? Anagaline or something like that. Osterine's a steroid, is definitely a PED, and the other one is also a steroid. So two different kinds of steroids. Ryan Garcia he's got to lawyer up, bro. Straight up. I like Ryan, but he's going to have to freaking figure it out, because a lot of people are coming for his neck right now. At the same time, he has a lot of fans, don't get me wrong. I know that. But at the same time, like some people may be out to get him. Guys like Dan Rafael, they're not happy with Ryan Garcia. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's quick to any story that finds Ryan Garcia guilty. So we'll see what happens. It's an interesting story for sure, because this doesn't really happen to high profile fighters anymore. Jesse saying the elites. Oh, you must be a conspiracy theorist. I'm low-key a conspiracy theorist too. But yeah, Ryan Garcia has been talking about all that conspiracy stuff, the children. So that stuff's true, but I'm just saying he's been talking about, the elites, the higher ups, even though part of me thinks that's true too. I don't know if this was a setup by, to get Ryan Garcia in trouble in the sport of boxing, because he's been talking about all that. That's the biggest conspiracy theory. But just to, give Ryan Garcia the benefit of the doubt, I'm going to wait for it to unravel a little bit more to see what happens with Ryan Garcia. But yeah. Any last questions, guys? I'm going to hop off soon. Probably get something to eat. Haven't eaten in a bit, so I'll probably hop off real quick. And then I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I'm probably going to go live again tomorrow. So any last words, guys? I want to thank you guys in the chat. Shout out Diego. Shout out Jesse for keeping that chat live, staying active. SPL. Who else was in here? Was there anybody else that I'm missing? The Pasaro. Shout out to you. We had a decent amount of people contributing to the chat today. So yeah, all you guys, shout out to you guys. You guys did your thing. Thank you guys for the constant support. I posted some new videos. Check them out. I talked about the Canelo fight, and I talked about Tank. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see Ryan Garcia kind of unravel this situation. Canelo did his thing against Magia. Will he fight those big fights next? We'll see. Only time will tell. But thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next live. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button, hit the post notification bell so you guys know when I'm going live. And, we're only going up from here. And, yeah, shout out Diego. I'll see you guys. Jesse, I'll catch you. And thank you guys for tuning in for this one. It's been lit. It's been your boy Matt Nabong with Naz Fight Media. I'm going to hop off for tonight. Have a good one. Everybody, peace, love. Catch you guys on the next one.